Welcome to our live interview with the writers from the Denton Record-Chronicle, powered in part by Classic of Denton. Hey everybody, thanks very much for tuning in with us here at DentonRadio.com. We are live, coming at you at 2 o'clock every Monday with writers from the Denton Record-Chronicle. We'll pick different writers to talk about business or events or different activities. Today we are talking Denton Sports with the one and only Brett Vito. Brett, how's it going today, man?
All right, going okay. We're getting into the end of the summer here, which means things are going to start picking up pretty quickly on the sports scene in town. And the big thing that comes up this week is UNT is starting football practice, which is a big landmark as far as the off-season goes. Kind of brings to an end the summer, although Conference USA Media Days also kind of does that as well. That happened late last month. So UNT's players will report late this week. Practice will start late this week as well. I believe it's Thursday and Friday. Players are going to report and start practice. I should get the official schedule a little bit later, which we'll have up on our website at some point here, probably today. Kind of the intrigue of college football players reporting and practicing starting kind of diminished over the years just because anymore it's kind of a year-round deal. Mm-hmm. You know, all the players are already in town. They kind of get out of town for a little bit before the beginning of practice, and then they come back for the official report date and start practice. But it's not like it used to be back in the day when there was some kind of drama about how many guys were going to show up, if everybody's going to return. But I mean, it is a pretty important part of the build-up to the season with practice starting and players reporting. So you can watch out for that later this week. Since the last time I've been here, like I mentioned, Conference USA Media Days came down. I was down at the Star around Frisco. We had a series of stories in the paper about what went down there, including one today about just the thoughts among, Coach Luttrell at North Texas, Seth Luttrell at North Texas, and just the other coaches in the league about the new redshirt rules where freshmen can play up to 4 games in a season and still retain their redshirt. You could essentially play 4 games and not have that count as a year of eligibility. We talked about in today's paper, which is a pretty big change I don't think a lot of people know about. If you want to check that out, that is in today's paper, and it's up on our website. The other thing that happened at Media Days that, is kind of the thing everybody wants to know is the preseason poll came out with the media. I voted in, and all the other regular newspaper writers and people that cover the league on a regular basis voted in that poll, and North Texas was picked to defend its title as West Division champion. That's never really a big surprise. Usually the team that won it the previous year, unless they graduated, absolutely everybody gets picked to win it the next year. But UNT was picked to win, which is a positive sign heading into the season. Cool. Additionally, the all-conference team came out, which is another thing. That is voted on by the coaches in the league, which, they know everybody in the league because they play these teams on a regular basis. And North Texas had 2 guys named to it, of course. Mason Fine was on there, their quarterback, who was the offensive player of the year in the conference last year and had such a great year through 31 touchdown passes. He was a member of the preseason all-conference team, as well as one of his favorite targets, Jalen Guyton. Guyton ended up catching 9 touchdown passes last year, had the kind of an up-and-down year. He really started strong. The people figured out that he was North Texas's main big play threat, and they kind of took him out of the game. Made sure to bracket him, double him. And then he got hurt late in the year. He got leveled by Army's safety, whose name I'm going to forget off the top of my head. But he got leveled, and he was out for about a game and a half. But he still ended up having a really great season. He'll be a junior this year. He was on the all-conference team preseason along with Mason. The team that was picked to win the East was Florida Atlantic, which North Texas lost to twice last year, and Atlantic ended up winning the conference title and went on to beat Akron in the Boca Raton Bowl. They finished 11-3, so they're the favorite in the East and probably the overall favorite in the conference. They're pretty much loaded as long as they can find a new quarterback to replace Driscoll, who elected to not use his final year of eligibility. On the high school front, a couple of interesting things happened or will happen over the next few days. The big one is Guyer defensive lineman Grant Mahon committed to Oklahoma State last night. So that's a pretty big landmark for Guyer. Guyer has traditionally had a really big connection with Oklahoma State. That's where, a lot of former players from Guyer have gone to there. Any Big 12 quality kid that comes out of that program tends to go to Oklahoma State. J.W. Walsh, their former quarterback, who's now a high school coach. But anyway, he went on to, play and start for part of his career at Oklahoma State. So a pretty big connection with Geyer, and Oklahoma State continues to kind of build there. And like I said, Oklahoma State's not only recruited Geyer really well, they've recruited this town very well over the years. And finally, the other thing that's happening on the high school front here, since we're getting close to the season, volleyball practice for high school teams start on Wednesday. So we'll start to see some of the high school sports get into season in terms of having practice, and then the game starts shortly thereafter. But volleyball is usually up first for a lot of those sports, and they will be starting on Wednesday. On the college level, we'll start to see North Texas build up a little bit here for the soccer season, which gets started in early August, and then volleyball starts a little bit later in August. So that should be on the horizon as well for people here in town that want to follow what's going on in the sports scene.
Well, very cool, Brett. As always, we appreciate the update on all things Denton Sports. Guys, if you'd like to follow up on any and all of this, again, you can find it in the Denton Record-Chronicle or, of course, at DentonRC.com. Thanks again for tuning in, everybody, here at Denton Radio. We're here every single Monday at 2, getting an update on all things Denton news, Denton sports, Denton business, Denton events, all that good stuff from the Denton Record-Chronicle. We appreciate you guys tuning in with us. We'll see you next week. Well, thank you for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed the show. Be sure to check out DentonRadio.com for new Denton artists and where they're playing next. While you're surfing the internet, make sure you check out our friends Classic of Denton at ClassicofDenton.com.